virtually, and I'm looking forward to meeting you at the conference. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. And likewise, I appreciate that you reached out to put this whole thing together for everybody. This is awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I love Expression Engine Conference, and yeah. So you are a developer at Foster Made, is that correct?
Yes, it is. I've been with the company going on just over 2 years now.
So what kind of things do you do for Foster Made?
Primarily, it's CMS development. We've had a huge focus on Expression Engine work. When I first came on board, it was actually when Expression Engine had just moved into version 3. So I got a lot of hands-on experience with doing upgrades from 2 to 3. Mm-hmm. And then we've continued to keep that process going up to, the latest version 5, which gave me a really great insight into the platform as a whole. So I've also had an opportunity to do quite a bit of add-on development for the company too, which has been a ton of fun.
Yes, absolutely. So had you worked on Expression Engine before you came to Foster Made? This is interesting to me.
No. Yeah, Foster Made is actually my first break-in into the web development industry. Before that, I was actually working in the restaurant industry for about 14 years. But I decided I wanted a change of pace completely.
I guess so.
So yeah, I went ahead and did some self-teaching for PHP. I literally pulled a language out of a hat, and PHP was the one that I came up with.
Nice.
And then Foster Made, I reached out to them at some point when I began my job hunting, and they offered me an apprenticeship program, which I took them up on, and then everything just worked out really nicely.
And so your first experience has been with Expression Engine 3 then. That's because I come from the Expression Engine 1. Like, I got in when Expression Engine 1 was a thing. And so it's been an interesting journey. But you're able to, I guess, see some of that legacy with Expression Engine 2 to 3 and 4 and maybe now 5 upgrades, I guess.
We have a couple of sites that we're working on that are still in Expression Engine 2. Mm-hmm. So I've had a good bit of experience. I have yet to see an Expression Engine 1 site.
So you've seen the pink. You've seen the pink control panel. You didn't see the purple or the green.
Correct. Correct.
And you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
Yeah. The Expression Engine 1 control panel had at various times purple and at various times green, and I think maybe some blue. And then, of course, obviously, Expression Engine 2 has a lot of pink all over that control panel, which at the time was actually pretty. I thought the control panel was pretty cool, but I don't think it aged as well. Anyway, that's a rabbit trail. So you do add-on work for Expression Engine, and your presentation, you're going to be talking about using search, and I think when I read your description, you mentioned some add-on development stuff along with Algolia and things like that. So tell us a little bit about your presentation and what you're passionate about there.
So it's something that I hadn't even realized was something that kind of was, becoming a thing, was this instant search platform that's out there. Everyone's used to the typical search where it's like you type in a search term and then you wait for the server to go ahead, do its thing, and then come back with results after the page load. But specifically with Algolia, I'm sure there are other platforms out there as well. I haven't researched too much into that. I've been pretty heavily invested with Algolia itself. It returns results for you on every keystroke that you do. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, sorry.
No problem.
So that kind of tech to me was really, really interesting, really cool that it was that sort of, lightning fast response time with very highly customizable search indexes that you can customize and put together how you feel that will best drive traffic on your website. Mm-hmm. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to integrate that search platform with Expression Engine. And to do that, you have to create the data pipeline that goes from Expression Engine and then creates the index record objects and pushes them up into Algolia. Mm-hmm. So the add-on for that is, it's partially a module, partially an extension, where we've got those both working together, which you frequently see with Expression Engine large-scale add-ons. And so, it latches on at the appropriate hooks for the extension and then runs the processes with the modules where it takes the entry objects, collects all of the data, and transfers that into the appropriate record objects that Algolia likes to work with and feeds them over. And then for the front-end implementation, it's basically just using a JavaScript library to get that hooked up.
Right, right. And I believe I have not personally done any Algolia work, but I believe on the front end as a user when you use it, it's sort of like this drop down that populates as you're searching. Is that am I thinking of the right one?
It's actually really flexible. There's a lot of different ways you can implement it.
Okay,
It's
okay.
pretty, loosely structured, so you can set it up as a drop down. You can have it as a dedicated search page. You can even have it as like just a basic product listing that you would expect to see on a regular commerce site, but as soon as you start typing, those results, the options that you have to begin to filter and shrink down much more isolated to what you're specifically looking for.
Nice, yeah. Well, and it's interesting. This concept is interesting to me, and I'm definitely looking forward to your presentation because as a user, and I don't know in any way that I represent a typical user, but personally as a user, I'm very search-driven. I'm search-driven on the internet. I'm search-driven in my IDE. Like I use PHP Storm or VS Code sometimes, depending on what I'm doing. And I certainly do use the file tree, but often, like very quickly, I'll be like, no, I'm going to push the key command and start searching for the file I want because I'm not going to go digging through the file tree for it. And that's sort of the way and I'm the same way on the web. Like if I'm on a website and I want a certain page, and if they don't have a search feature for it, it drives me nuts. Or if I'm on a page, I'll even hit Command F and I'll get to the section of the page I want by typing out the language I think I'm looking for. So I'm very search driven as a user, and so I think. I think many people are, at least in some ways. And so this is very interesting to me, and I'll be really interested to kind of see how this all fits together.
Yeah, one of the key points for the presentation that I'm doing is that while it does go a little bit into the technical side of how we put the add-on together and things like that, we're not just doing an anatomical breakdown of an extension and a module. There is quite a bit of a discussion about the value of adding such a feature to a website, how it does enhance the user experience, and it doesn't just drive them to key points on your site, but it also speeds up their access to your site as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. And I recently did a site that had hundreds and hundreds of services. It was a government website for a county, and they had hundreds and hundreds of services that somebody might come to their website and they would want to do. And so I didn't use Algolia, but I actually used wrote a custom add-on and various things to make search really fast. And because you can search through their tree of services, or you can go to the search and type the service you want, and it comes up. And that sort of thing is their old website. It was some sort of ASP, thing running from the 1990s, and so it was a huge upgrade for them. But that was one of their big things: is like we want users to be able to search for the services they want within their county, and so that's a huge thing, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I know. Just trying to pay my water bill through my county, they tell you go to this link. Go to this web address at the bottom, and then you just look for this link, and it's buried in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about my city's water billing and various things that I have to go through to do here in Tennessee. I don't want to talk about it. It's a sore subject. Well, what questions am I not asking that you want to answer about your presentation?
Oh, geez.
Let me put you on the spot.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had to come prepared for anything. I don't know. I think we've covered a couple of the nice bases there. Like I said, I mean, it's not just a dive onto the code side of things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of raises the question, like, who is your target audience here? Who do you want to come to your presentation?
I mean, I think it was put onto the tech side as opposed to the business side, which I think is actually kind of a boon because I like that the audience is going to be primarily the developers as opposed to the business sellers. That being said, there's certainly value for the sales team and the business team to understand the benefits of adding this platform to any website, and not just Algolia, but an instant search platform to a website. But I think a lot of the times, developers are given tools that they don't understand the full swath of benefits that come with implementing them. Like, you understand the core concept, which is great. Like, yeah, it's a nice search platform, but understanding better what all of the benefits that tie into using a platform like that really are help you as a developer communicate with designers and your clients as well. Like, there's other things we could be leveraging here to really drive this feature forward for them.
Yeah, and I think that when you're talking about the business proposition of search versus the development proposition of search, it's really easy to say, search is a thing we need. But then so many different algorithms and ways of searching, and just the technical aspects of searching are very interesting indeed. And I'll also tell you this: you mentioned it went on the tech side rather than the business side, and as an organizer, I can tell you sometimes it's very difficult to decide. Because there's oftentimes there's so much overlap between the business needs and the dev needs, right, of any given topic.
Yes.
And so as technologists, as developers, I'm a developer, we have to be aware and cognizant of the business needs. And oftentimes some of the best project managers I've worked with are very cognizant, even if they don't know how to do it themselves, they're very cognizant of the development frustrations or needs or what have you. So there's so much overlap there. It's hard to know sometimes how to fit that together.
Well, like I said, I was really relieved to see that it did end up on the tech side, because when I wrote out the proposition, I sent it through, I was like, wait a minute, I think that's going to go through business. I don't want that to go through business. I don't know how to talk to those sorts of people.
Well, I think both of us, I think neither side of our aisle, business or dev, we're usually pretty friendly with each other. So it'll work out either way, I think. But well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat about your presentation with me. For those of you watching this, if you want to get tickets and come see Adrian's presentation on Algolia and searching and talking through that, go to EEConf.com. You can click on the link for tickets, and you can get tickets there. And we would love to see you at Expression Engine Conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, mate.